afternoon, everyone. An interesting session. In fact, a lot of insights I could gather from the previous panel. Firstly, I would like to thank all the organizers for giving us this opportunity to speak in this forum. Most importantly, to all you dignitaries who have taken time from your busy schedules to have an industry forum like this. What I would be doing in the next 10 to 15 minutes is to talk about how do we make transformation real, right? We in IT industry actually come up with nice buzzwords every year. And these buzzwords are the most abused words in IT, right? One such most or heavily abused word is transformation. You will see everyone coming and talking about transformation. But the key is always to see how do we make this transformation real? And what do we hear when we go back and talk to dignitaries like that of you in a similar environment? So let me just talk about this, right? Social media, mobility, analytics, cloud computing. You all know that not only have changed the way people live today, but also has changed the way businesses are done. To be very honest, in fact, I believe that we are in a rare moment in history. And what is this rare moment in history, right? Most of us, when pandemic struck us, or would have never imagined that our organizations will run so smoothly and functionally with our people being in the remote locations, with our people being at home, everything carried out with the security envelope, right? I'm seeing a lot of heads nodding. So it wasn't that easy for us to even imagine that we will do work from home. Work from home is a social taboo in India. People used to think if someone is working from home, he is either searching a job or he is literally doing something which does not make that impact to his company or to the society. From that social taboo, all of us in this rare moment of history came back and made things, kept the lights on and ensured that the organization is running smoothly and efficient. So this is a rare moment in history, and this has only been done because of digitization. While we all talk about digital, while we all talk about the power of digital, I personally give a credit to the IT modernization. Because if IT modernization wouldn't have been there, digital transformation would not have been real. So let me just bring this into context of government, right? When we meet most of the government customers, what do we hear? No two doubts, it says that the technology in government is there to put the citizen charter at the center, right? Now, what is technology? Technology is neither a product from us or anyone, or neither is a solution from someone that you can go and easily deploy. Technology is a framework, right? But for that to understand, one needs to understand what the key tenets of this technology are. First thing first, right? We are living in a data-driven era. We are definitely living in a way where technology is going to be led by data. And it's not about data explosion. It's not about how do we manage data. It's how about you getting right insights and enabling a decision maker to take, right? Most often we have take example of our own laptops, right? We have lot of files in our laptop, but when we are not able to find what we really need, we get frustrated, right? Imagine the same thing in a data center. If the decision maker is not able to get the data, right data, which empowers them to take a decision, trust me, he will be equally frustrated as well. So in this data-driven world, it's important that technology is driven by data. And most importantly, it should be ready for future. It should not be that, oh, something has happened, this is unexpected, and our framework is not scaling. Our framework is not able to meet the future, right? So it's important to have this framework which is actually ready for the future. And then when we go back and meet organizations which have huge legacies, they say, look, all this is good, all this is amazing, all this is futuristic, but don't come back to us and say that we have to do rip and replace of what we have. So it should be interoperable with what you have. It should be coexisting with what you have. This is what we hear from most of the customers or most of the government officials that we meet, right? And at the same time has a security envelope by default. This is non-negotiable, right? Security is at the heart of any deployment and any transformation that would have failed in past would have been failed where there would have been a security leakage. And most important, that this framework is committed to connecting. When I say committed to connecting, it's important to see that this technology framework in government, and this is what I came to know from a very senior person I met, is that you can have very good solution at the data center side. You can have amazing things which are there, new age technologies. All this will fail if we are not able to connect the citizen to the government. So it needs to be there, committed to connect for the future. Now, while this is insights from we meeting organizations like that of you, let me go back and give a perspective about an leading analyst, right? It clearly resonates with what Gartner also believes. And this is an India-specific report which talks about key trends which will prevail in government for the next 2 to 3 years. In fact, 95% of the spend that they presume is going to happen in 4 areas: data privacy, automation, business intelligence, and anything as a service. None of this would be new to you. You would have heard this. It's about understanding what the context is, and it is a ratification, right? Like, for example, when we go and buy a car, we have decided to buy a particular car, but when our friend comes and says, you are buying a good car, you feel better. So what we hear from you, being end users, and what we hear from other end users across the globe, is when it gets ratified by an analyst view, it gives us this confidence that yes, this is where the future is leading. But said this is a preamble to the discussion, right? How do we make this real? And that is what is important. Most of the strategies fail when executions are weak. And that's where we as Lenovo believe that the transformation needs to be smarter. And when I say smarter, it needs to be right from the device, from the infrastructure, from the solution, from the services, the complete envelope which is there. So what does this mean, right? When I actually go back and talk about the data-driven era which was there, I'll give an example, right? Example of a customer who used to say, look, and this is one of the tax departments, 15 years back, having 1 terabyte of data, 3-way DR. That was the kind of data that was existing 15, 18 years back, right? Core database, not more than that. But today, 1 terabyte, our kids use as pen drives, right? So that's the power of data. That's the power of data which is happening. So when you are in that environment where data is going to derive insights to you, and these insights are empowering you to take a decision making, it is important to build a framework which helps you do that. And this framework constitutes of 4 key pillars. The first one being cloud computing, right? Make it real. Cloud computing is not about ripping and replacing what you have. It is about giving you the interoperability. It's not about restricting choices for you. It's about giving you choices that you can even, like, what is your imagination? We can go ahead and do it. In fact, we take pride to say that we power 7 out of the 10 hyperscalers in the world, right? Second thing is analytics and AI. It's something which it really upsets me when I hear is that, oh, this is a solution I have, you want to fit your problem into this. Analytics and AI is not like that. Analytics and AI is not like one size that fits all. It's not like we are coming up with 3 packages, small, medium, large. It's not a productized. It is different to your own organization. It is different to your own setup. And within your organization, if your workloads are different, it is completely different, right? So you cannot have a one size fit all kind of an analytics framework. And this is where, again, like, look at what has happened in the industry. Today, IT departments for companies that are born in the cloud report to marketing, report to finance. Imagine, right? Isn't it? Most of the e-commerce players, most of the born in the cloud players, they do report to finance and marketing because they look at IT as an engine for them to get business. And for them to happen, that they need to have the right analytics. Government is no different. So the analytics that your ABC department might be completely different from another department. So have that envelope wherein you have not one size fit all, right? And third thing, this is the biggest bet which we are seeing in the industry, right? Making edge computing real. Can I carry a server by a hand and putting it wherever you decide edge? It's not that we come back to you and say, oh, you need a DC power supply, you need this much of rack space, some cooling, some temperature, ruggedized. This is edge for you. No. Edge computing, 5G, everything will fail. It's about enabling edge computing where you define what edge is. And most importantly, the way you consume IT, right, as a service. And this is something which we have TrueScale as an offering, wherein you can buy the entire portfolio of Lenovo right from our pocket to the cloud as a service. And when I say pocket to the cloud, it's important, right? Because the first thing that I hear is, look, you are talking about data center. But imagine it's the device that is talking to the data center. So, and today's world, devices are also multiple, right? We have the first device that talks to the data center is our mobile phone. The second device, which most of the people have started carrying, is a tablet apart from a laptop, because people are feeling easy to do an virtual meeting on travel with a tablet. So multiple devices are talking to your data center. So and all these devices needs to be IoT enabled. So have an framework wherein think from device, or I would say think from pocket to the cloud. Second is having a smart infrastructure at the data center, and most importantly, look at things which are different. We can come back and share our experiences on how do we enable a lot of these technologies, because we ourselves have large manufacturings, and especially in the public sector space, we can come back and give you and talk to you about Industry 4.0, those kind of things. We can share our experiences on how do we manage these smarter verticals, or how do we make these verticals much more smarter. In that context, we are committed to making in India. We are having factories in India. We have Puducherry factory that manufactures our PC. We have in Noida, which manufactures our Motorola wings, right? And then we have tablets that are getting manufactured in Tirupati. We are committed to Make in India initiative, completely aligned with the thought process that the government has, and this is actually investing, and this is going to continue. Said that, we do have industries, I would say, as ranked by the analyst 16th best supply chain network, because in today's world, it's important to enable you technology, not at 10 weeks, 12 weeks kind of a framework, right? To enable you technology much faster. With this, what I would like to say is the proof of the pudding is in eating it. We have been associated with largest of the most complex deployments across high performance computing. We have like liquid cooling at one of the labs in ISRO. We do have Delhi University doing genetics, and we do have a lot of genome sequencing in one of these lab at IGIB. So most of the HPC mission critical workloads, apart from our complete portfolio, have been in place in India. So do look at us. We are saying that make transformation real, and we can share our experiences with you. With this note, thank you very much for this slot once again, and it was nice being here. Thank you, everyone.